This Christmas, children have had fun choosing a Christmassy text to read to others. Their teachers have recorded them and their videos have been put together by Dorset Council to share with others over the festive period. We hope you enjoy hearing their stories. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. Love from all the children in Chesil schools.
Just Christmas. It was almost Christmas and the forest was a flow of activity. Everybody was looking forward to Christmas. Well, almost everybody. Grumpy Badger looked out of this window and scowled. Happy Christmas, shouted Squirrel. Happy Christmas, Bear, he shouted back. What, Piffle? I sleep all through the cold winter. Now I am going to sleep until the spring, and if anybody wakes me, I shall be very, very grumpy. And with that, he pulled his window shut with a clunk. Grumpy Badger knew he would be hungry when he woke, so he checked his larder. That should do, he said. When he filled his hot water bottle and climbed into bed, he had just closed his eyes when there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. It was Mo. Happy Christmas, Mr. Badger, he said. I'm sorry to bother you. I've been trying to put lights on the Christmas tree. Could I please borrow your ladder? Christmas tree spluttered. Grumpy Badger, Piffle, and a double Piffle. Christmas is for sleeping, and that's what I'm trying to do. And he closed the door with a bang. Bah, huffed Grumpy Badger, climbing into bed. Borrow my ladder? Indeed, all I want is a bit of peace and quiet. He peeked under his bed where he put more food for springtime. Then he cuddled deep into his big warm bed. He was just starting to snore when there was another knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. This time it was Squirrel. Hello, Badger, he said cheerily. I've brought you a Christmas present. Christmas presents, naughty Grumpy Badger, Piffle, Triffle, Piffle. I don't like presents and I don't like Christmas, and he shut the door with a crash. Now Grumpy Badger was really grumpy. To cheer himself up, he thought about the bottles and bottles of homemade lemonade he had when he lay down and closed his eyes. Suddenly there was a loud banging at the door. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, what is it now? Grumpy Badger sighed. Oh, Badger, panted Rabbit. Help, it's poor Mo. He's stuck on top of the Christmas tree. Come quickly. Piffle, shouted Grumpy Badger and Triple Piffle. Why can't everyone just leave me alone? And he slammed the door so hard the whole house shook. Slam. At last, Grumpy Badger fell asleep, but soon he was tossing and twirling. He was dreaming of Mo dangling by one tiny paw from the top of an enormous Christmas tree. Mo was losing his grip. Mo was about to fall. No, screamed Grumpy Badger, suddenly wide awake. What have I done? He jumped out of bed, he grabbed his ladder and dashed into the street. Grabbed Grumpy Badger, he raced up to the Christmas tree. Hold on, Mo, he cried. He scrambled up the ladder, scooped Mo gently into his arms, then helped him down to the ground. I'm so sorry, said Grumpy Badger. What a grumpy old fool I've been. You're a hero now, said Squirrel, and I gave Badger back his Christmas present, a soft, fluffy nightcap. What can I do to make things better? And then he knew. Badger's Christmas party was the best ever. There were puddings, cheeses and ham, and sticky sweet jam, cookies and cupcakes, bottles and bottles of homemade lemonade. They giggled, they spoke, they laughed late into the night. Happy Christmas, everybody, Badger cried. And if you don't all come to my party next year, I shall be very grumpy indeed. Indeed. Father Christmas needs a wee. Father Christmas needs a wee. He's been drinking drinks since half past 3 at number 1. 1 hot choc, yum. 2 plates of stew. At number 3, 3 cups of tea. At number 4, he had 4 more. At number 5, 5 pops with pies. At number 6, fruit mix, all 6. At number 7, milk, 7 pure heaven. At number 8, 8 cool milkshakes. At number 9, 9 lemonade limes. At number 10, 10 teas. And then I think that you can clearly see that why Father Christmas needs a wee, but oh, what will all those drinks in mind? He forgot to leave the presents behind. And so, at number 10, he left 10 pens. At number 9, 9 nursery rhymes. At number 8, 8 pairs of skates. At number 7, sweets, 7 more heaven. At number 6, 6 colourful bricks. At number 5, 5 toys to drive. At number 4, 4 beasts that roar. At number 3, 3 Christmas trees. At number 2, 2 cows that moo. At number 1, pups that runs. And so at last his work is done. And now it's time for him to flee, for Father Christmas needs a wee. Through the town, across the sky, the sledge, it rises high, above the clouds and over the sea. He must be quick, he needs his wee. At last he's back, at home all safe. Just look at that smile upon his face. He feels in his pocket, but where's the key? For Father Christmas needs a wee. An elf with a gift appears by the door. I found this key just here on the floor. He thanks the elf and turns the lock. He runs up the stairs, right up to the top, and there is the loo. He shuts the door. Oh, happy Christmas, we hear him roar. Happy Christmas, girls and boys.
The Christmas Truce, The Place Where Peace Was Found, by Hilary Robertson and Martin Impey. This is the place where peace was found.
This is the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
These are the soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is Carl and his best friend Lars, who sang Silent Night under the stars to enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is Ray and his best friend Ben, 2 of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his best friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place where peace was found.
These are the men who held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land. To men like Ray and his friend Ben, 2 of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and one sang Silent Night under the stars. To enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright. This that lit up the place where peace was found.
These are the bells that started to chime when friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers, the men held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land. To men like Ray and his best friend Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and one sang Silent Night under the stars. To enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is the football match that was played over hills evergreen swayed, to echoes of bells that started to chime when friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land. To men like Ray and his best friend Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his best friend Lars and one sang Silent Night under the stars. Two enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is the dove that flew above, a symbol of enduring love, who honoured the place the match was played as over the hills the evergreens swayed. To echoes of bells that started to chime when friends were made at Christmas time, and when enemy soldier, the men held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land. To men like Ray and his friend Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and one sang Silent Night under the stars. Two enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is the gift the dove dropped. This is the olive branch that was dropped on Christmas Day when the fighting stopped, dropped by a dove flying above, a symbol of enduring love.
Who honoured the place where the match was played as over at the hill evergreen swayed, to echoes of bells that started to chime when friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land.
Peace for men like Ray and his friend Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and one sang Silent Night under the stars. Two enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place that Christmas Day where peace was found.